Love the intellectual look of the Ray-Ban Clubmaster, but aren't sure which size to get? Stay tuned to get measurements on the two most well-known sizes, but also two additional Clubmaster frames that need to be on your radar. Hi, I'm Gabriela, the Ray-Ban brand expert at SportRx, and today we're going to be going over the Ray-Ban Clubmaster sizes. As I'm sure you're expecting, we're going to go over the 49 and 51 eye size, but I've got a few other frames that you should consider when you're picking your size. We're going to go over in-depth measurements, see them on models that they fit, and ultimately narrow down which one is going to be the best size for you. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, a few notes before we go into the measurements of these frames. I do want to point out a few fit features on the Clubmaster. So the Clubmaster has an adjustable nose pad, which if you've seen some of our other videos, you'll know I love adjustable nose pads. I think they are the key ingredient to getting a really custom personal fit because you can completely adjust according to your nose bridge of how wide or narrow it is, and also play with how high or low it sits on your bridge. Secondly, this is a mixed material frame. And the reason this is important is because we're seeing a metal composition mixed with acetate. And acetate is lightweight, durable, but also extremely flexible, meaning you can get these easily adjusted. If the temple's not comfortable when you wear it, or you're not feeling that you love the pressure point it's hitting at, I would recommend just taking it to your local optometrist. Acetate's super easy for them to tweak and get a perfect fit for you. Finally, as I'm going through measurements, I am going to call out the traditional eye size that we're familiar with, for example, 49, but I'm also going to be referencing the SportRx frame width, which, what is that? So just to tell you briefly, this measurement is a true frame width because we've noticed that the lens size isn't always the most reliable way of understanding your frame size nor measuring. So this measurement accounts for details specific to the frame and takes into the account the frame as a whole. So when you see SFW, that's what it is. We do have a video that explains the concept, how to measure yourself, and how to use this information when shopping for sizes. I'll link it and I encourage you to watch it because it's super helpful when you're trying to determine your size. All right, let's jump into it. All right, so we're starting out with the smallest of the bunch. This is the 49 eye size. So this frame has a SportRx frame width of 133 and is a unisex style. The bridge is 21 millimeters, it has a lens height of 42, and a temple length of 140. Now I do want to talk about the bridge size because if you have seen some of the other videos like our aviator size guide, you'll know I'm obsessed with adjustable nose pads. They're really the key ingredient to getting a perfect fit. And the 21 millimeters is really just the most narrow distance between lenses, but it's not necessarily the most important feature because the adjustable nose pad is where this frame is actually making contact with your face. So that's why I love them so much, and I think that's a great option on the Clubmaster, is just really customizing that fit due to the nose pad. All right, next up we have the 51 eye size. This frame has an SFW of 137 and works well for both a men's and women's large. We've got the same bridge at 21 and a lens height of 44. The temple length is 145, so you'll notice we get an extra 5 millimeters on the temple length in the 51 versus the 49. I do want to shout out that the 51 eye size is actually available in two additional frames. So we have two frames here, the RB3716 Clubmaster metal and the RB3507 Clubmaster aluminum. And the reason I'm calling these out is because it's the same frame and the same measurement as the acetate version, but we're just getting two different compositions. It's something to keep in mind if you narrow it down to 51 being the size for you. I would encourage you to check out the aluminum and the metal version. And if you want more information on them, we do have a video that I'll link down below and you can check that out. Now, I mentioned that I've got two additional frames up my sleeve, so I want to talk to you about a 55 eye size. What? Who knew there was a 55 in the Clubmaster? But I'm here to introduce you to the RB3016F Clubmaster. Now, the reason we're seeing an F behind that model number is that's because how Ray-Ban denotes that a frame is an Asian fit frame. So Asian fit frames are typically built with a more narrow nose bridge and a shallower lens because standard fit isn't always the best for those facial features. Now at SportRx, we're always super honest with you guys, and that's the reason I'm calling out this frame specifically, because this is an awesome option for a larger Clubmaster, because even though when we go through the measurements, you'll see we have a more narrow nose bridge, we're actually getting a bigger lens. And again, we know the importance of that adjustable nose pad, so having a more narrow nose bridge doesn't really make a difference. So if you've ever been in the boat of I can't wear Clubmasters or too small, or you just know the struggle in general of finding a frame that fits, I highly encourage you to check out the 3016F Clubmaster. Okay, so I'm throwing a curveball at you with this next one, which is the RB4175 Clubmaster Oversized. Now, right off the bat, you're gonna know that this frame is a little bit different from our other Clubmasters in the lineup. And the reason for this is because it's a really unique blend between the Clubmaster and the Wayfarer, which if you're familiar with the Ray-Ban Wayfarer, you'll notice that it's a much more bold and angular frame. So we're gonna see that with the brow line and also the temples. It's got a bit bolder look. We're no longer seeing the metal at the nose bridge. It's just an acetate frame across the top. And the reason why I wanted to point this out in our size guide is because it just looks bigger. With that Wayfarer inspiration, it just has a bit stronger look to it. So even if the 55 isn't cutting it for the Clubmaster, I would say it's worth checking out the Clubmaster Oversized because we're getting a little bit different shape there. To break down those measurements, it has a SportRx frame width of 138, a bridge of 16, which here we go again with that narrow bridge, a lens height of 47, and temple length of 145. Again, if you felt like the Clubmaster Classic wasn't really cutting it, or you just wanted a bit more coverage, the Clubmaster Oversized is an awesome option because you just get a little bit different look, but also more frame on it too. So that wraps up today's Clubmaster size guide. If a frame you were interested in wasn't mentioned in today's video, chances are it's probably in another one that we've got. We've got a lot of content on our channel, so I encourage you to check it out. Also, we have product measurements on sportrx.com for each of the frames that we carry. One other quick tip, all of these Clubmaster frames are available with prescription. Now at SportRx, we know the struggle. No matter how much measuring, how much research you do, it can be hard to tell until you have a frame in your hands and on. And the reason for that is because you just don't know. We're all so personal. It's a really personal piece. And so you're always backed by our See Better guarantee when you shop at SportRx. Take 45 days with your Clubmaster, see if you like the fit, the coverage, all that good stuff. And if you're not totally loving it, just let us know. We never charge restocking fees and we cover shipping both ways. And this goes for prescription as well, so you're never stuck with something that you don't love. Now, if you want to get it right the first time, I encourage you to call us. We've got a great team of opticians who love to help. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope this Clubmaster size guide was helpful. If so, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Check out the videos over here. And if you want to talk, leave us a comment. We also are on social media, so you can give us a shout out down below on Facebook or Instagram.